The fog moved like ghosts between headstones. It was the kind of morning that held its breath. In the village of Nandipur, where even the roosters had gone quiet, the gates of the old cemetery stood ajar. Rusted, crooked, they creaked with each breeze. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, rain-soaked grass, and something else, grief. And then a sound. Barely audible. A low, broken whimper. A dog sat by a grave. Golden brown. Mud clinging to his fur. His eyes red-rimmed and wild with exhaustion. His body trembled with soft sobs, not barking, weeping. He wasn't guarding a grave. He was waiting for someone to come back. 3 days earlier, Nandipur had been peaceful. Maya, a 35-year-old schoolteacher and widow, had lived in a hillside cottage with her 8-year-old daughter, Sana, and their loyal dog, Bruno, a golden retriever mix they'd adopted as a pup. Maya taught the local school. She cooked roti on a wood stove. She read bedtime stories by candlelight. Their home was full of love, but also fragile. Rain had battered the hills for days. Locals feared a landslide. But no warnings came. On that final day, Sana had begged Maya to let Bruno follow her to her friend's house. Maya hesitated. Bruno rarely left her side. But something in his eyes pleaded, and she agreed. That decision saved his life. Because hours later, the mountain came down. It was no small slide. The entire side of the hill gave way. A dozen homes were buried. Maya's was the worst hit. The roof collapsed inward. Wood splintered. Stone crushed. Rescue workers were delayed by blocked roads and unrelenting rain. By the time they reached Maya's home, it was already too late. They found her body beneath rubble, arms wrapped around a child's blanket. But no trace of Sana. They searched for 2 days. Sniffer dogs, backhoes, human chains. And then, on the third morning, with hope fading, authorities declared the child likely deceased. No body. No ceremony. Just a wooden grave marker in the village cemetery. A grave without a girl. The village wept. Prayers were offered. And Bruno, he sat there. Staring. Bruno returned the day Maya was buried. He walked beside the coffin. When the mourners left, he didn't. He lay by the empty marker meant for Sana. Eyes open. Watching the earth. He didn't eat. Didn't move. Didn't bark. Villagers assumed he was mourning. But Bruno wasn't mourning. He was waiting. Waiting for the heartbeat he still felt. Meanwhile, Sana was alive. When the house collapsed, a support beam caught on the stone wall, creating a small pocket of space. It was enough. Barely. She couldn't move. She couldn't scream. Dust filled her mouth. She clutched her teddy bear, Tiku, and waited. In complete darkness. For 3 days. Without food. Without water. Every second was a war between hope and silence. But somehow, she believed. Bruno will come, she whispered, again and again. Bruno will find me. On the fourth morning, the sun finally broke through the storm clouds. Bruno stood up. He walked to the foot of the marker, sniffed, then let out a soft bark. Then another. Louder. Urgent. Then he began to dig. At first, it seemed like madness. Old Ramesh the farmer saw him and rushed over. No, boy, stop. But Bruno wouldn't. His paws were raw. Blood mixed with dirt. He growled, not in anger, but desperation. Ramesh was about to pull him away when he heard something. A sound. A faint cry. From beneath the ground. Help! Ramesh screamed. She's alive. The child is alive. Phones rang. Bells sounded. The rescue team returned. Dozens gathered. Men dug furiously, following Bruno's lead. Hour after hour, they clawed at the earth. And then wood. A broken support beam. Beneath it, a child's shoe. And then, the hand. Sanaa. Covered in grime. Eyes closed. Barely breathing. But alive. When her eyes fluttered open, the first thing she whispered was, "Bruno?" He leapt forward, whined, and licked her hand. People cried like it was the end of the world and the beginning of another. Sanaa was rushed to the hospital. Dehydrated. Weak. Feverish. But alive. Bruno refused to leave her side. Nurses protested at first, then allowed him in. "He's more than a dog," one said. "He's her soul." At night, he curled at the foot of her bed. When Sanaa woke screaming, Bruno licked her face until she smiled. He became her shadow, her protector, her therapy. Reporters came. Officials visited. But Bruno ignored them all. His eyes only followed one person, Sanaa. Not everyone saw a miracle. The government faced backlash. "How was she declared dead?" asked one anchor. "Why didn't sniffer dogs find her?" asked another. A formal investigation was launched. 3 rescue officers resigned. But Sanaa didn't speak about that. She only said, "If Bruno hadn't listened, I'd still be there. I think he heard my heart." Over the next few weeks, Sanaa learned to walk again. She had flashbacks. Panic attacks. Fear of enclosed spaces. But every time she cried, Bruno was there. At her therapy sessions. At night under the hospital bed. On the day she returned home to a new house built by the village. He never left. Not once. A month later, the village held a ceremony. Not for politicians. Not for headlines. But for Bruno. They unveiled a bronze statue of him in the village square. It showed him sitting upright, head tilted, paw resting on a grave. Sanaa stood beside it and said to the crowd, "He didn't save me because he could smell me. He saved me because he loved me." Now, on warm evenings, villagers see a little girl walking through the cemetery with her dog. She never cries there. She lays flowers by her mother's grave. She touches the old wooden marker that once bore her name. And then she whispers to Bruno, "Let's go home." Bruno wags his tail and follows her into the setting sun. The earth took her once. But love brought her back. If this story moved you, please share it. For every Bruno, for every Sanaa, and for every miracle that still waits to be found. Like, comment, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales for more true inspired stories of love, loyalty, and the bond between animals and humans. Before you go, tell us below, if a dog saved your life, how would you thank them? Your words might change someone's heart.